Hi, this is Matt Jacobs with BCTV, and today we are visiting with Morgan Bohanan, first-year head softball coach. And Morgan, your season starts this coming week. Just tell us a little bit about your thought process as a first-year head coach about what you're about to walk into.
Yeah, so it's obviously a little different. I'm on the different side this time, but I think our approach is the same as it's always been. We're just going to go out, compete every pitch, go out there and just play Butler softball. Nothing too crazy, nothing different than what we've been doing in the past.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what you'll have in the circle as far as pitching, because I think a lot of people who know softball will say that's where a lot of the games are won or lost.
Yeah, so we have two starter returners, Emma Kinnicky and Allison Montgomery. Those are two returning starters, but we also have a returner in Ariel Matula. She's a sophomore. She came off of an injury last year, but you'll see a lot of her. But our two starters coming back is very helpful, obviously. Emma was an All-American last year. Both have under 2 ERAs, so that'll be huge for us.
All right, so coming off of an appearance at the national tournament to bring back 2 starting pitchers, I think you have to feel, like I said, pretty solid about that.
Right, absolutely. I mean, like I said, they have experience. They've been to a national tournament. They've played a lot of good teams. I think that'll be huge. The experience will be huge for us.
All right. So then behind your pitchers, you have your defense. And what is your defense looking like so far?
Yeah, so we have Reese Briggs returning at first base as a starter. Then we're going to have probably a freshman starting at shortstop, which will be a lot different, replacing Maddie Young. A lot of experience there. Also, we're going to have to replace Emily Adler at second base. So we're going to have a pretty new infield, which is okay. We have the talent to do it. I think the only thing that we're really lacking there is the experience part. But I have no worries about that. I think that they'll step in and they'll do a good job.
All right, what do you have in the outfield?
So we'll have a sophomore out in center field, Brianna Woods. She'll hold down the outfield. She does a really good job. I think that we'll have either a sophomore in right field and then a freshman left. So we're still kind of working that out for starters-wise. But we're going to have some new people in the outfield. So it's going to be a little different. But like I said, I have confidence that they're going to come in and get it done. So.
All right, so we've talked about the pitching. We've talked about the defense. Now talk about scoring runs to plate.
Right. So we have a strong lineup. We have a lot of lefties, which we love our lefties here. We have speed. We're going to add a lot of speed this year. That's something that we've kind of added that's been different than years past. We've always been known to be, the big bombers, but we're going to have a lot of speed this year, which will be great. We can put some pressure on the defense and make some things happen at the plate.
All right, so this is a program that over the years has become known as a national program, and obviously 2 national championships, several trips to the Final Four, a whole slew of trips to the national tournament. You're going to find out a little bit or a lot about your team right off the bat because you're playing some really good competition this coming weekend in Waco.
Yes, so we're gonna get punched pretty quick. All teams that we're going to be playing this weekend are all in the top 20, which is good. We love that. We love to play the best teams that we can. I think it says a lot about our culture here. We want to compete every single game, play the best that we can. We're not afraid to play anybody. It's only going to make us better, but we're going to find out a lot about us, which is good. And I always tell the kids it's not how we're playing right now, it's how we're playing in May. So obviously we're going to go down and compete, but it's just going to give us a little bit of a taste of what it's going to be like for postseason.
And now this year, like so many other years for Butler softball, you guys always start the season down in Texas. One, for the competition, but also there's a couple inches of snow out here right now. What's it like for you guys getting to go south and start in slightly warmer temperatures?
Yeah, it's great. We've been lucky this year to get out on the dirt a little bit for practice, which in the years past we haven't. We usually go down there only being able to practice inside. So it's been great that we've been outside. But yes, we go down for the warmer weather. But the past 2 years we've gone down to Denison, Texas, and it's been kind of cold there too. So it's great. It just gives them a little bit more of a postseason feel.
Okay. And then what do you know, I know it's a little ways down the road yet, but about the Jayhawk Conference? You guys have been so dominant and won the conference so many times. What does the conference look like this year from an outsider's view?
Yeah, so we have a lot of new coaches in our conference. There's been a lot of coaching changes. We've had a few head coaching changes, brand new assistants. Everyone's kind of shuffling around. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty, I think. Especially for the teams that lost their head coaches, having somebody else coming in. But we all know that, our conference is so scrappy and so competitive that anybody can win on any given day. And I think that our conference as a whole is getting better every year. We're evolving every single year, which is great. That's what we want. So we think that, yes, we have a lot of uncertainty, but it's still going to be pretty competitive. So.
Okay. And so then let's talk a little bit about who Morgan Bohanan is. One of these national championship trophies here you were very much a part of, the 2016 tournament out in St. George. But take us a little bit through your college career first and foremost.
Yeah, so I started out of high school at the University of Kansas, played there for a year and a half. I suffered a shoulder injury, tore my labrum in my shoulder. My sophomore year, second semester, I transferred here to Butler. Obviously, won a national championship here. Had a great time. Then I transferred to Creighton, where I continued to I tore my labrum again. So I ended up being medically retired, but I was at Creighton for 3 years. So I've been very injury struck. So it's been kind of a roller coaster, but it's very unconventional. But overall, it's made me into the person I am and the coach I am today.
And so then talking about your decision to get into college coaching and then how you ended up back here at Butler.
Yeah, so I've known I wanted to coach for a long time. And obviously being family friends with Doug Chance, I've seen him go through it and I was like, okay, maybe I want to try this. So out of college, I took a job out in Colorado at Otero Junior College. And I wanted to give it a chance, just see if I liked it, didn't really know. I ended up falling in love with it. I love everything about it. And then when Coach Chance called and said there was an opportunity to come back here, obviously I was going to take that. So came back, and here I am. Fell in love with it and couldn't imagine myself doing anything else.
So then Coach Chance, the legend of Butler, all the winning that he had done and everything, and he decides to retire at the end of the last season. What's going through your mind at that point in time?
Yeah, so obviously I knew at some point it was going to have to come to an end. Just did not know it was going to be this soon. So when he decided to step down, my first thought was, okay, do I want to take over? Do I want to try to take over? Do I want to apply? There was a lot of things going through my mind. Am I ready to be a head coach? So that was it was a whirlwind because I knew I had to make a decision pretty quick. And I was like, you know what? I'm ready for this. So I applied, and here I am.
So your first semester, fall ball, now getting ready for your first season of games. How do you feel it's been to the first, 6-8 months of being the head coach?
Yeah, so it was crazy at first. I had not hired an assistant yet, so I was kind of doing everything by myself. The recruiting part, I was out recruiting all summer by myself, which was okay. I love recruiting, so it wasn't a problem. But I knew I had to hire a pitching coach, not just an assistant coach, a pitching coach. And that was the most stressful part for me, was trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? We have a short amount of time. Hired Megan Johnson. She's been great for us. She stepped in and has exceeded all of my expectations in just a short amount of time. She's made our pitchers better from day one. So that was a huge hire for us. And then for the rest of it, fall ball actually went by really, really quick. And, season's starting to come up, and I feel like we just started. So it has been crazy and been busy, but it's overall been a great process for us.
And you talk about Megan Johnson. One of the things that I love about her is, like you, she's a former Butler player who's tasted that success on the field as a player and now gets to come back to it as a coach. What does that add to the team? Yeah,
it adds a lot. Having someone that has played here, our expectations are the same. They're going to be the same as they were 10 years ago. Butler softball has a set of expectations, and it's nice having a former player who understands those. We preach the same thing every year. Our mentality hasn't ever changed. So having her being able to been here and know what we expect has been huge. And she's added a lot of wealth, both pitching and just as a player. Our kids have learned a lot from her so far. So.
All right. Well, I know that we're definitely looking forward to the start of the season. 9 a.m. Saturday, right?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Saturday down in Waco, Texas. The Butler Grizzlies start the 2023 season, their first season under head coach Morgan Bohanan. Thanks to all of you for tuning into our interview today, and we'll see how the first weekend goes.
Yep, thanks for having me.